Hi guys, and welcome back to Adams Aquatics. In today's video it's going to be an updated fish room tour. So this is going to be a carry on from my over the last 3 months as to what's happened. A lot has changed, my presenting style and a lot in the fish room has changed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over exactly what's changed, exactly what's new, and update you on everything that's happened in the fish room over the last 3 months. Okay, so let's just go a sweeping view of the fish room to start off. So this was obviously here the last time that we did the fish room. Down here there was a freezer, there's now a tall tank. That was obviously there last time. This whole rack wasn't here last time, so you've got 2 tanks at the top that were on the rack, which I'm going to show you in a minute. You've got the large shell dweller tank, the fry system, the brine shrimp hatcheries, and the grout tote that are all brand new since the last time that we were in this video. And then over here on the rack, a lot of things are similar, but a lot of things are also different. So these top 5 tanks are all the same, that have always been there. Then down here you've got these 2 tanks that were here, and this is a new tank, and then this little tiny tank which is currently here is also new. Also, we've changed over our air filter system, which is obviously a lot quieter, so this video should be a lot better quality than the first one. And we've also added this water butt since the last time that we were here. So that's just an overview of what's happened in the fish room over the last 3 months. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you every single tank and what's changed in them, what's new and what's old. Okay, so let's start off at the display tank. This is my community tank. It is obviously the same as it was the first time around. It is a roughly 50-gallon tank. I've added a background since the last time we were here to make it a bit darker. Neon tetra is the same, emperor tetra is the same, killifish the same, gourami is the same, honey gouramis. Kaya, one of my rams that was in a breeding tank before, has now made her way into the display tank. She's a German blue ram. There are still 3 giant Siamese algae eaters in this tank. New additions are an Apistogramma cacatoides male, who was from my first spawn. You can follow those videos in my bio. So just go on there, click on the cacatoides fry videos, follow those. This Apistogramma vieja male, and an Apistogramma Inca 50 benchii male, who is new to the fish room. Literally arrived with me yesterday. He's settling in really well to this tank. I'm just trying to get some video of him to show you guys. Also new to the fish room is my Starlight Pleco, who is a bristlenose Pleco. There he is there. He's a bit more active than my L132 Pleco, the Blue Phantom, and there is the Apistogramma benchii, just in that Amazon sword there. He really likes to hide, but he's an absolutely beautiful fish. Once I get more tanks set up in the fish room, he will also have his own tank. And there's my male cacatoides. They both like to stay together as like a pair, as it would be. They stay together and they kind of protect each other from the bigger VAR. So that sums up the display tank and the changes that have been there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the tank which is now underneath the display here. This is a 30-gallon tall tank. This previously was the shell dweller tank. You can follow through all those videos again. Same, they're all on my channel, setting up the shell dweller tank, etc, etc. It's now home to my Apistogramma Elizabethae red male. He recently killed his female in an accident that was, basically he pecked out her eye. I thought she was hiding because she had some fry. Unfortunately that's not the truth. He just got too aggressive with her. He basically took her entire side of her face off. I tried my best to nurse her back to health, but unfortunately yesterday she passed on. Here he is here. He's an absolutely amazing specimen of an Apistogramma Elizabethae red. He's great. We secured another female from Ely Exotics, which is the place where I normally get all of my Apistogrammas from. Go and check him out. Okay, so let's start up here at the new rack. So this is the new rack. I had this before at the very beginning of the fish room, before I started making YouTube videos. This is my dehumidifier, which helps with the humidity in the room because it gets quite humid because some of the tanks are open top. This is my pea puffer tank. It is dark water, and I'm trying to reduce the glare for you guys. There he is there. I currently have 1 pea puffer. I used to have 2. Unfortunately, the last one passed away when I was on holiday. I feed him snails that I just harvest from in the fish room. Don't really like these nano tanks, and I won't be keeping them again once things move on you know, once these guys pass on. I'm not looking to get rid of them, but I'm also not going to be renewing them when things do happen. So this is a nano cube. It houses my my male beta, Hades. Let me see if I can show you, get some video of him. So, and Hades is just asleep down there. Betas are extremely lazy. That's something that I've definitely learned. They rest most of the day. So this is my 3-foot shell dweller tank. I have 3. I have 2 males, which this is a male, this is a male, and this is a female. Now I've learned this through months of keeping them and months of like seeing exactly their behaviours and their interactions with each other. Now the males, they fight for territory all the time. We're currently trying to grow this colony out to about 6 to 8. This tank's more than big enough for 6 to 8 of them, and obviously we'll put more shells in and more rocks as this colony kind of develops. This is my favourite view of the fish room. It's here, you look down and you look down into the tank and you can see all the way along to the end. It's really serene and really nice. Now, these guys have had fry a couple of times now, and this time I've removed the fry. So I'm going to show you those in the fry grow out system. So down here is my fry grow out trays. Now these have been used many times for growing out pistogrammas and all sorts. At the moment they've been transferred over to harder water, obviously for my shell dwellers, and that's why when we get over to the rack, I'll show you what's currently going on with the pistogramma fry when we get over there. So this is the fry grow out trays. How this works is there's a power head down there with a piece of PVC tube attached into it, which then supplies water, fresh water from the bottom to these trays. And then the trays overflow back into the bottom, which means you're able to keep the fry in a large volume of water without losing them, basically. So there are 6 in here. I'm going to see if I can get some video of one of them. There's one there. So we're just going to grow them out. We've been feeding them baby brine shrimp 3 times a day. And what we're going to do is just power feed them until they get big enough to go back into the tank. So we're going to get them to the same size. Some of my pistogramma fry are over on the rack, which I shall show you shortly. And then we'll move them back into the tank, reintroduce them with the parents, and then let them grow out in that tank. So that does it for the smaller rack. Now we're going to move over to the bigger rack. Okay, this is my original Apistogramma cacatoides male Apollo here with his female Aphrodite in this tank, and it also has 3 red pencil fish. I've shown you this tank in my last video. They really haven't moved on, apart from the plants have really grown in. They've had a smaller fry. You can follow that growth on my channel. Just look for any of the cacatoides fry videos. Goes into growing them, harvesting them from the tank, you know, that type of thing, all the way up to when I managed to move them on. Again, this guy is really personable. He's my favourite fish in the fish room. Okay, now full disclaimer before we start, this is a tank that needs some love and attention. This is my female betta tank. Now, it's covered in this blue-green algae. I've lost all motivation for this tank. Bettas again, I won't be keeping bettas again in the fish room. It's not something that excites me, and it's not something that I enjoy keeping. Now, I do the water changes at the same time that I do every other water change in this tank, in this fish room, sorry. They've just really been deteriorating recently, and they've got quite a lot of bloat. So I've cut back right on feeding. I've been trying to feed them peas and all sorts to try and cure that, but it's just not working. I've cut back the light on this tank to try and clear up the algae. I've covered it, done everything I can to try and cure this out. Now, I could not show you this tank, but this is for full disclosure what I do in the fish room. I like to show you guys everything that's going on. Again, the fish are really healthy. If you look at this Andacori, he's really healthy. It's just not for me. And yeah, that pretty much sums up this guy. So this is my Apistogramma abiaxis tank. Now, originally this tank, I don't know what it was in the original video, but yeah, this is my Apistogramma abiaxis pair. Now, I've had quite a lot of trouble with them. Obviously, the first time the male becoming deformed to my supplier, and then the second time the male didn't make it, died from shock from the transport, and then this time the male was getting beaten by the female. So what we did was we removed the female because she was originally living in this tank on her own, and we removed her, and then now I let him settle in on his own, and then now they both settled in together. Now there's got quite a lot of growing to do because the male has got no purple on his face yet, but yeah, I honestly am really so happy to have these guys in the fish room, and it's really been something that I've really been looking forward to keeping. I'm just going to continue to grow them, hopefully get some spawning from them. Now these guys are apparently very difficult to spawn because they need quite a low pH, but you know, this is something that I'm going to try to attempt in order to get these really rare Epistos to breed in the UK, which would be fantastic, something that I would really be so proud to be able to do. So in the next tank over is my original Master Eye male and female. This is Mars and Venus. Now these two have had the spawn. They're Fry, the ones that are in the grotto. They've also had another couple of spawns since then. One time he didn't fertilise the eggs correctly, and the last time I disturbed the eggs and then she ate them all. So that's kind of my fault, and I kind of messed up with that one. But you can see how healthy he is and how full of life and great looking he is. He hates the camera, so he always comes up and he puffs up to me when I've got the camera out. But yeah, I really enjoy this fish. He's really got quite a lot of personality, and I love having him in the fish room. So moving over to the next tank, this is my Pistogramma Agassizi tank, Agassizi Blue, my male Percy. Now, if I can get some video of him, he has grown drastically since the last time you guys came for a fish room tour. He was just a wee guy last time you were here, and now he's fully grown. And his female, obviously his original female passed, and we have got a new female for him that she is much bigger, much stronger, and she kind of just is really a great match for him. Here it is there. If you go back and watch the first fish room tour, you'll obviously see the difference in size between now and then, and yeah, he's grown drastically. He is an absolute fantastic colour, fantastic like cobalt blue. And again, he's just been living great life. I'm trying to get him to spawn. At the moment we've had no luck. There's the female there. You can see that she's kind of about 3/4 of his size, so she's quite a quite hefty female. We've had no signs of her yellow coloration yet, which means I don't think she's quite ready for breeding, but again, you can see his want and desire to breed, but she's just not ready. So again, we've just been doing lots of live food for these guys. Okay, so we're down here now at my black ram tank. So now originally this was my electric blue ram, or my German blue ram tank. Unfortunately, the electric blue ram passed on. He got really ill, and she just beat him to death. Now I'm having a similar sort of situation with these guys. Now I've kept these guys for 2 to 3 months now, and they've been absolutely fine with each other, not any problems. But yesterday I did a big water change, and he just has gone crazy with her. He's been chasing her around, he's beaten her significantly, and she's also done some damage to him. So she's torn up all of his pectoral fins, and she's given him a bit of a busted lip. But he's pecked at her side. Here she is there. You can see the damage that he's done to her. So there's some anti-fungus in here to try and hopefully reduce any fungal infections that she might have. And there's some marine salt and some methylene blue to try and help to get her cured up and healed up really quickly. I am worried about her, but she is behaving fine, which is a good thing. You can see obviously the damage that he's done to her, and you can see the damage that she's done to him. So it's breeding quarrels, and doing everything that I can to kind of heal her up and get her back to normal. Okay, so this is my Pistogramma McMaster Gold breeding tank. My male, Big O or Osiris, is hiding down there, and the female is back there. Now, this is not his original female. He unfortunately killed his original female because, again, it's the same level of aggression thing, you know. Pistogrammas and dwarf cygnets in general are very aggressive, and he unfortunately killed his original female. He harassed her to death, but this one's much, she tolerates him a lot better, and also she's had 3 batches of fry with him, so that's been really cool. So this is the second batch of fry. So the bigger ones are from these guys, and the smaller ones are from the Cacatoides in the next tank, which I shall show you in a second. But there is also 2 fry swimming around in this tank as well. So I like to, when they breed, leave a couple of fry or 3 or 4 fry in there to see if they raise them in the tank. It's an experiment that I run every time, and often 2 or 3 of the ones that you leave in there will raise to a size where you can remove them and grow them out with the rest of the fry. It's been really quite a cool experiment. So there he is there. I just want to show you him. He's sulking and hiding for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Maybe she's being aggressive towards him. That sometimes happens. She's sometimes really aggressive towards him, especially when she has fry or she's expecting fry or laid eggs. It's just the way it works with these two. But they work, and it's been a really great pairing. So again, I was talking about letting fry grow out in these tanks with the males. So you can see him there, and you can see a fry that's growing out in the tank with him. So this is my newest breeding setup. This is my Cacatoides triple red. This male here and this female here. Now she's a female from my original pair. I managed to breed her and the other female in this tank, and then these guys have obviously had their own next generation. Now there are some fry in here, as you can see, swimming around following her. Again, same thing, I'm going to leave them in there, see what happens. I do put baby brine shrimp in here to see what happens. And then if they get to a size where they're big enough to be moved, obviously I'll remove them, and then we'll go from there. Now he's a much better father than Apollo is, because he hasn't eaten any of the fry, whereas Apollo was going around munching up all the fry every time that he lays them. And that means she must be a better mother than her mum was, because her mum never defended Apollo and never, you know, stopped him from eating them. So obviously learning quite a lot breeding these guys, and it's something that I'm really enjoying bringing forward to you guys and showing you what's going on. So, and finally this little tank here. Now I set this up today, literally today. This was a hospital tank housing the Pistogramma Elizabethae red female before she passed this morning, and then I decided to remove these guys from my breeder box. Basically I had these guys in a breeder box very similar to the fry box that I just showed you. Let me just go back over here. These guys growing out nicely. I've given them a lot more space now than being stuck in a breeder box. Cycle sponge filter. Again, there's 11 of them in here that we're going to grow out to a size where we can sell them on. Really happy with these guys. Hopefully they're going to turn out the same colour as their dad. That would be absolutely amazing. I'd be so happy with that. Okay, so that about sums it up for the tanks. I've gone through everything that's gone on in the fish room in the last 3 months. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. So I'm going to give you my future thoughts on what we're going to do in this fish room. So directly behind me, there's going to be 2 more 2-foot tanks that are going to be arriving soon, and they're going to house 2 new species of Pistogramma. So we're going to have the Inca 50 or the Benchii that's going to be removed from the display tank. Obviously we've just got the male at the moment, females on our way. and we're also going to have a Pistogramma Borellii Opal that are going to be in this fish room, and that's going to sum it up for this fish room until we move to our new fish room. So hopefully we'll be moving in January to February next year, and we're going to be building the fish room from the ground up. So make sure you come and join that journey where I will go through building a fish room from start to finish. It's also going to be a purpose-built building, so that is something that hopefully you will all enjoy. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at adams.quirks, and join me on Tuesday for another vlog style video. See you then.